Wow, that is awful. Alright everyone, we are finally going to put the axle back on the go-kart. We have a new sprocket for it, so we're going to put that on, and hopefully this will fix any of the problems that we're having. If not, we'll still tweak some stuff, but we're going to test it out pretty good here soon. Gokart is back. Alright everyone, so I found these bent pieces of metal that I can use for fender supports. So what I'm going to do is take these and take the ends off of them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them and then attach these here with a bolt. And then they're going to come up and then support the fender up. And I'll probably cut it so it's not super long. But that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to try to break the welds on this end of this to try and get this thing off so I have access to put this thing on the other heart. Alright, so I cut the ends off. This is the piece that I'm going to use, and I'm going to try to hook it up. I got to drill holes through it, and then we're going to send bolts through it, and then hopefully it should work as a good fender support. And then once we got that down, then we can take the fenders off, clean them up, make them look nice, and yeah. Alright, so we got all the holes drilled. It's loosely mounted on here. I just need to find some bolts and a couple spacers, and then we should be good to get this thing mounted right on here. Well, I didn't film a lot of this. That took me forever because a lot of things did not want to cooperate when I was trying to do that. But we got it done. Fender Mount #1 is all done. This thing is on here really good. So we pretty much have the first fender on here, and it is on here really good. Right now I'm going to finish making the other fender, which is going to be a little bit tricky because I have to cut a bunch out to make way for the exhaust. So we're going to start getting to work on that right now. I already have marked on this fender what needs to be cut. I need to take this entire section out to make room for the exhaust. Hopefully that will give it enough clearance when the suspension flexes. So I'm just fitting this back on here, and it looks like with suspension flexing, it's still going to end up hitting the middle part. So it looks like I'm going to have to cut more off. Alright, so where this whole green thing is outlined, I'm cutting this whole chunk out. Alright, we got that huge part cut out of this. Now we're going to fit it back on and see if it's going to work. Alright, it is looking a lot better now. I'm just going to press down on the suspension, see what happens. It rubs a little bit. It's not nearly as bad as it was before, and I think it'll be fine. Alright, so what I have to do is finish cutting off the back of this piece, and then it should be good to go to get fitted, and then drill some holes in it. Alright, so I have it bolted on here on the top. So I still need to connect it down here, but that's going to help me find the connection point for it. Alright, we got a bolt in here at the bottom. It would actually fit pretty well, so I'm going to have to try and get some spacers in here to get out as wobbly, and then we're going to bolt it in. And we will have 2 working Fenders. Alright, so I have the other Fender on. It is still rubbing a little bit, but it's no big deal because it's very thin sheet metal. It's not really going to cause any problems, but this thing's on here, and we are good to go. The Gokart now has rear fenders. I guess now I can paint them and do whatever with them. I don't think I'm going to right this second, but I will show you guys when I am painting them and throw them back on. I'll probably leave the underneath of them white just because they're going to get beat up anyways. That is custom fenders on the Gokart. Alright everyone, so what I'm going to do right now is do a bunch of touch-up stuff on the Gokart. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up taking this off right here, re-shaving the ends of it so this little knob on the end of the steering wheel doesn't hit anymore. Okay, we got this thing re-strapped down here. It's not going anywhere. Right now I'm going to file the edges down a little bit so they're not as razor sharp. They're all filed down, and right now I'm going to wash them up and then scratch them up with a Scotch-Brite bed and then paint them. There's only air coming out of this can. Okay, it's gonna be, I don't know if this is the same color or not, because I remember at one point all the caps were like stuck, so we switched them around. This might be the same color that's on the front. If not, it's gonna be very similar to the color that's on the front of this thing. This can is stuck. Let's try this again for the 3rd time. Wow, that is awful. Now I have to wait for that to dry and then take it off. Yay. Alright. Time to try this again. Now they're just going to be painted black. You're kidding me, right? Seriously? Guys, I'll show you when I'm done. I finally got them painted. It's still drying a lot. I added some like red into it, trying to make it look cool. So once it dries, I'm gonna put a bunch of clear coat on it, and then we should be good to go. Alright everyone, I have the fenders here painted. None of the paint cans that I was gonna use were working, so I had to get a little creative. I used some black satin paint, and then, as you guys can see, there is red in this, and actually it came out super good. Like, this looks so cool. I just lightly sprayed some red over the top of all this, and it just came out so good. I still have to put a layer of clear coat over this. I want them to look a little bit more shiny than this, but it came out so nice. Like, these look so freaking cool. The camera's not going to do it justice. So after this turned out as good as it did, I just decided that I'm going to paint the sides of the Gokart the same color. I really don't have anything better to do today, so that's what I'm going to do. And it's going to look really cool when it's done. So I'm going to pull the Gokart out. I'm going to wash it up a bit because it is a mess. So we're going to mask off everything that needs to be masked off, and we're going to paint it. Paint all figured out, and god damn, this is looking so cool. The camera really isn't showing it off very well, but it just gives off such a cool vibe that really matches the whole idea of this thing. Alright, we got this side all masked up. Hopefully we won't have any issues with the paint this time. I've had so many problems with these paint cans throughout the day, I'm just messing around with all of it at this point, so hopefully we won't run into any problems this time. So. And now it is time to put the fenders back on. Check that out, that looks so cool now. Looks like I need to get the wheels painted now because they look kind of stupid on it. Alright everyone, I know you've seen the paint job, and if some of you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the fenders, but right now I'm going to show you guys the entire paint job. So,
Memphis, man.
alright everyone, so that is the new paint job on the Gokart. I really hope you like it. I'll show you guys a picture of the fender flares, the fenders right here. You can't see them very well because the sun is hitting down on them, but basically, as you guys saw, all of the spray paint cans that I tried using just did not work, so I decided to just go with whatever color I could find, and then I just was like, you know what, some of the Gokart is red, what if I just put little red spritz in it? And it actually turned out way better than I expected. I hope you guys really like it. I think it looks really cool and kind of adds to the just like ridiculousness of this vehicle, the aggressiveness. It's like, look at this thing, it's just, it looks nuts. But it honestly came out really good, and it's also like it really pops when it's in the sun. Like when it's dark, I can show you guys the other side. The other side is painted, it just doesn't look like it. Like you really can't see anything when the sun's not on it. I can assure you guys this side's painted, that fender's painted. Once the sun hits it, it turns red, and it looks all around really cool. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video and enjoyed the paint job. Hope you guys think it's cool. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed, so if you've gotten this far and you've noticed you're unsubscribed to the channel and you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. It supports the channel, it supports all this cool stuff. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I will see you guys next week. A lot more stuff to come on the Gokart pretty soon. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye everyone.